horror films. Did this come about by accident or design?
I would say it was probably by accident rather than by design. Like many things that happen in an actor's life, in his career, they happen rather out of the blue, you know? After all, I'd been an actor for about 12 to 13 years. I started in 1948 on the stage in the cinema. And I played, like everybody has and should, an enormous number of parts of different kinds and different types of picture. But I had been learning my job in Essential, strangely enough, in this profession. And I'd been at it about 10 years, I'd say, 10 to 12.
Well, how did your first part in this type of film come about?
I think it came about as a result of my having played one outstanding villain, you might say, in a picture called The Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, a part of a French aristocrat who more or less single-handed starts the French Revolution. That's part of the story. And as a result of this, I think people began to think of me as a villainous character.
I sometimes have the feeling that audiences are in sympathy with the villain or the monster. How true do you think this is?
Oh, it must be. I think this is essential. I've always tried to play every character, even no matter how villainous. I've always tried to play every character, in a sense, not exactly for sympathy, but to show what I've always termed the loneliness of evil in a character. No matter how villainous or horrible or evil or frightening they may be, there's always a certain aspect which is pitiful, which is beyond their control. I tried to show this in Frankenstein's monster. I tried to show it in Dracula. I tried to show it in The Mummy. And I will try and show it in this particular character, Fu Manchu. It's not quite so easy because he's essentially a human being, whereas the others were not quite.
Would you prefer to be on the side of good or evil?
Oh, to be on the side of the angels is always important, I suppose, but I think on the other hand that the villains always have more interesting parts. Let's put it that way.
Do you play some of these horrific parts, shall we say, with a certain amount of tongue-in-cheek?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Definitely not. I think it's an essential. It's vitally essential whenever you play a character of this kind, which may be unreal and improbable and strange and fantastic and weird, that you should play it absolutely seriously. Otherwise, there's no conviction whatsoever, and there's always this dangerous line between the audience believing implicitly in what you're doing and perhaps being doubtful or even laughing.
What is the basic appeal of horror films, do you think? Do people like to be frightened?
It forms a part of people's lives. And therefore, I think that as people go to the cinema, essentially to be entertained, to see things, perhaps rather than to listen, they like to be thrilled. It gives them a tremendous outlet for their emotions in many respects. I don't altogether agree with the fact that doctors say that this is a safety valve, although it may well be so. They don't know more about this than I do. I essentially regard it as something which people like to experience. And this is proved all over the world.